Related news, the New York judge who presided over President-elect Trump's criminal hush money trial has pushed back his ruling on whether to set aside the incoming president's felony convictions. Now, lawyers for the president-elect, they want the case dismissed, while prosecutors say that they need more time to evaluate the next steps now that the former president has been elected again. In a letter to the judge, the prosecution agreed with Trump's team's their request for a stay to consider the impact of the election. A week's delay has been granted by the court, and prosecutors must now stay to their position by 10 a.m. on November 19th. In May, Trump was convicted of 34 felony counts related to hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. The president-elect has denied any wrongdoing.